Residents have their say on an increase in pay for parliamentarians. Youth groups taking to the streets this weekend. And tonight, we will meet a centenarian who is still going strong.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I am Megan Shepard. It's so great to have you joining us. A national discussion taking place after the nation's leader advised that an independent committee will be appointed to look at a possible pay increase for members of parliament during the next budget. Tonight, residents on Grand Bahama are giving their views. Shashina Roll has more.
I will come forward with a pay increase for the members of parliament.
It is that announcement that has many Bahamians up in arms about whether or not parliamentarians should receive a pay raise. Here on Grand Bahama, many residents say this is not the time for the government to consider a salary increase for members of parliament.
If the finances of our country is stable and at a standard where they can get a raise, then you can give them a raise. But if it's not, then I feel like you should wait until you get our country to a place financially before you do that.
First of all, let's talk about our minimum wage. I think that should be first increased. Let's talk about that, because we have a lot of people that's actually out here suffering and they're getting a raise and their pension plan looks quite feasible already without the raise. Hell no.
I think there's a bunch of foolishness. You need to find some jobs for the people around here.
I don't think they should get a raise right now. Right now, the people should get a raise to keep up with these bills, not the MPs. They get another time to get a raise. Give the people a chance.
Saying that there's no funds in the Treasury now, okay? We have people sleeping in cars. What happened to them? Shouldn't they get some kind of benefits from the government? So why should those that have more and those that don't have just, what you supposed to do, throw them to the garbage?
They ain't starting no work yet. They just come into power. Freeport have a lot of things need to be done in Freeport. NASA said we put them in a job employment. It's very low. People need job. People need help. How could they discuss race? Police need their money. Nurses, doctors, they have back pays. They done already discussing race. That's just ridiculous.
Back in 2014, the former Christie administration appointed a parliamentary select committee that proposed that the salaries of MPs be reviewed. Then, Menace, who was opposition leader at the time, noted that he would not agree to any salary increases for MPs if he became leader due to the pain and suffering that is going on in this country. However, the case has been made that members of parliament have not received a raise in over 25 years.
Okay, I said, okay, fine. The country is still in desperate need of funds now. People are still hurting now. They have a certain amount of monies that are coming into them. That's fine. At the very least, they can live. They have families that they can support. You have other people in this country that does not.
And they always getting raised. Even if they giving it to themselves, they getting raised. They don't need any raise. They get more money than anybody. We, the poor people out here, need help. They need to help us.
These residents believe that there are more pressing issues that need to be addressed.
How about doing something for Freeport? Because we're the ones that supported them and basically put them back in. Freeport has always been F&M country, okay? F&M territory, I should say. So help those that helped you to get in.
Fine work.
I'm employed and it's just as if I'm not employed. So let's address some real matters at hand, which is our people that's now suffering.
Minimum wage, raise it. That's poor. You can't survive off $2.10 a week. Come on now, and then you got the employees cutting down your hours. I think that's deplorable. For Bahamian people, it should be at least but $4 something a week to keep up with these bills. Social service, you only could go there every 3 months. You can't get nothing but $50 or $60. That ain't no money to go in the food store with, not when you have children.
Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
Now, you can also have your say on this topic as well. Just go to our ZNS Bahamas Northern Service Facebook page or on Instagram at ZNS North 242. A strong show of support for this year's Youth March and Rally on Grand Bahama. The march kicked off yesterday from the parking lot of Christ the King Church and ended on the Independence Park. Our Kimberly Mullings was there.
Over 30 youth groups from across Grand Bahama participating in the annual Youth March. Chairman of the 2017 Youth Parade Committee, Dolan Cartwright, says the Department of Youth was pleased to see the amount of organizations that took part in the event outside of schools.
This has been such a positive response we have been getting from our principals, from the track clubs, from the civic organizations, also from our churches and from our clubs. Everyone has responded in the positive to make sure to get our youths out there so that they can be seen and let Grand Bahama get a taste of what happens within the four walls of these organizations.
Local government representative Ravano Ferguson focuses on youth and sports. He considers the activities which took place throughout the month of October and the march great initiatives.
It's a great feeling when you look around and you see the various schools, organizations, from the Scouts to the JAs to the boys clubs, all come together for one good initiative to celebrate the Youth Month. And to be honest, I mean, this is overwhelming to see the amount of support that is actually out here.
Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama and Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Hiram Lewis, joined the parade route alongside the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture himself, the Honorable Michael Pintard. Pintard says he was excited to march with the young people after a month of activities.
We have an absolutely powerful Youth Advisory Council that has committed to organizing events throughout the year to make sure that our young people are fully engaged. We believe that the future of the Bahamas is in good hands with these young people.
He noted that it's important to continuously highlight the positive things that young people are doing.
Yes, we have some challenges, and we have an obligation to meet those challenges to win our country back, island by island, community by community. But to the extent that we ignore the incredible things that other young people are doing, we are then putting them at risk, because they then begin to feel that despite the sacrifice and accomplishments, it counts for nothing. And so I believe that overwhelmingly the majority of our young people are positively engaged.
Minister Pintard noting that the role of the government is to facilitate the overall success of the nation's youths, their dreams and aspirations, which is why they have approved a tremendous amount of resources to start various youth enterprises.
Young persons who are interested in starting businesses in maritime affairs, in technology, and in tourism, and in culture. And so we're excited about creating opportunities for young people so that we can reduce the unemployment and increase the ownership of this economy.
The parade ended on the Independence Park, where various youth groups from across the island performed during the rally. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Director of Youth K. Darren Turnquest traveled to Grand Bahama to participate in yesterday's youth parade.
Experience for me to demonstrate to young people, of course, my department's interest in them, and of course looking at my minister's mandate, and his mandate is very much so to reach every young person, no matter what community they're in, no matter which island that they're in, but we have to impact the masses. And I think today the Division of Youth in particular, the Division of Youth within Grand Bahama has done a fantastic job.
The turnout exceeded the expectations of the Director of Youth. He believes it was a complete success, and it speaks to the positive direction in which the youth are heading.
Seeing not only the number of the groups, but the size of these groups is what I'm most impressed with. And you know, even the schools coming out and representing those young people are participating in some sort of extracurricular activity in their schools that might not be able to turn out, you know, on a day like today. So really recognizing this partnership between the schools, the churches, the youth organizations, and bringing them all together as a community for the development of young people across their lifespan, development of young people across our country. It is imperative. It feels good. I can say without any hesitation that today's parade has been a success.
Turnquest hopes that the numbers double next year and charged all young people to encourage their peers to join in the movement. Switching gears now, one man is still detained in hospital and 2 others have been released. The 3 men all sustaining gunshot wounds early Saturday morning. Reports are that shortly after 3 a.m. on Saturday, police officers were on patrol in the Call Road area when they received information that 3 men in a black Nissan Note were suffering from gunshot wounds to the body. The men were taken to hospital for medical attention. Police are investigating the circumstances involved in this shooting incident. Police are still investigating the discovery of some human remains over in Bimini. Shortly after 12 noon on Friday, officers were called to a beach near the East Wells area on North Bimini, where a human skull was found. The remains were collected and police are continuing their probe into the discovery. Now, 50-year-old Yvette Green has been missing now for 1 week. Green, who resides in Hudson Estate Community, was last seen on Monday, October 30th on East Atlantic Drive and Explorers Way. The missing woman is described as 5 feet 6 inches tall, 130 pounds, dark brown complexion, average build, with a small scar across the right side of her face. Family members have conducted a search of several areas in Freeport, but have been unsuccessful. Now, if you have any information on the whereabouts of Yvette Green, you are asked to call the police. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues in just a moment.